Hey, this is Myke from the Jailbirds, and I'm going to be talking about our song Sludge. This one was the first single we put out for this EP in 2023 or 22, I think. And it's a song that we sort of had a regrouping moment at that time, and we had a bunch of member changes and this whole bunch of stuff happened, and I won't get into the nitty-gritty of everything, but long story short, it was sort of like a fallout, and we had to regroup, and that's when we found Kevin throughout all this stuff. We met him at a show and everything, and it actually was our buddy Jeff who was helping us out with shows and recording at the time. He went to a show and filmed, I think the band was, it was The Crooked, which I don't think they're around anymore, but Kevin was playing in this band, and Jeff filmed it or whatever, and it was like, who's drumming, and then that's when we met Kevin. And so, but anyway, long story short, Sludge is really about, I kind of wrote it about that whole thing that I just talked about with the fallout, and it's about toxic people and relationships and stuff like that, whatever type of relationship you want to think about, but it's about kind of overcoming it and getting above that. You know, it drives you crazy when you're involved with that kind of thing, and you think, am I nuts? Am I going, am I out of line or something like that? And it's just like, it's this, I'm sure people can resonate with this, and everybody, hopefully not everybody, has run into this kind of thing, but that's what it's about. It's about just kind of, sticking to your guns and going, no, like, I'm not going to put up with this stuff, and getting rid of it, just throwing it aside. And that's what the song is about, and it really it goes along with the instrumentation, I think, a lot, because it's so heavy and it's so angry sounding, that riff. It's so Soundgarden in that way, and love the guitar tone we got. Used one of my fuzz pedals, the Tone Bender fuzz there, and it's by Tribute Audio, I should mention. I just love his stuff. He's really, really great. Tribute Audio Tone Bender there, and it just has such an aggression to it, that riff and everything, and the bass tone and everything is so aggressive. It's the best way I can put it. But yeah, Sludge is I'm trying to think of when we wrote this one. It's probably like 2018 or so, I would say. Yeah, it was maybe a year or so before we went in to do the bed sessions and everything, and that was like November 2019 or so. And I think we probably had it for a year or so before that, and it's one of the only songs we have with that tempo and that kind of vibe where it's slower and stuff. And I love how the vocals turned out on that one too, with the dynamics, and starts really low and it goes high and back down in the middle. That one was kind of an interesting one for me in terms of like the vocals, where it starts low, goes high, and then the chorus is like in the middle of those two. So that was really interesting how that turned out. And then the solo in that song too, the guitar solo, that's just fucking full out fuzz, wah and stuff. I love that kind of stuff, and just super awesome guitar tone. I remember that one was, I feel like that song, we had that solo in the bed sessions. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like we had that in the beds, and I remember being in the booth, just kind of going over it a few times, and most of the stuff I record, I'm in the control room and hearing it through those, the monitors and stuff. I just prefer that way of doing it. But this one had the headphones on out in the ISO booth. The amp was somewhere else, wasn't in the room with me or anything, but I just remember sitting there and just got the right take of it with the wah, and just, sometimes with the wah pedal, it's really about finding that sweep and everything with it, and I just happened to get the right one, and we ended up keeping it. So that was pretty cool from that session. That one, recording that one was fun too, because it's such a it's a fun riff to play, and it's one of those ones. It's in drop C, you know. We play everything in D standard tuning, but that one, you know, we dropped that low string down to C, and it just gets this super heavy vibe and everything, and it's huge. Yeah, bass and drums too. Same sort of style with their heavier music. Like we got the dirty bass tones and stuff. I think he used like a rat pedal on that through his YBA 300 amp, the tube amp or whatever, and that just sounds incredible. And then, you know, Sans amp and all that stuff too. Bassman had an old Bassman on 10 and whatever, and I think we actually blew up that amp recording this one, if I remember correctly. We were like, oh, there's no more sound that come out of this one. Had to get it fixed, but we got the track done though, so it was fine. Sometimes that's the cost, I guess, but it was fine. Just needed some new tubes or whatever. And yeah, I'm trying to think more about this track. It's one of the ones. This song, you know, I thought for a while when it was done and the lyrics were done and it was finished, I kind of didn't think it was gonna be, you know, it was just sort of one. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna put it out if I don't like it, but I didn't think that it was going to be a favorite of anybody's for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but it's turned out that a lot of people seem to really resonate with it. Maybe it's the lyrics or just the nature of its stink face riff and stuff like that, but something about it is really resonating, and that's really cool. It's always really awesome. It's always the unexpected ones where you're just like, I don't know about this song, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, that's great. And then, I don't know, maybe there's something to be said about that. Trust your gut. But yeah, I love this song. It was empowering to write, you know what I mean, about personal experiences. And we write a lot about personal experiences in Jailbirds. And this one was no exception. And it was the first step we took in that direction, where it was in that subject matter, really. We hadn't really written anything like that before. And I think it turned out great. I love how it stood the test of time a little bit. It's been a few years, and I still listen to it. I'm like, yep, stoked on that. Stoked that it's released. It actually has as well, like I said, it's been out for a little bit as a single, but for this EP, it's been remastered and everything as well. And the remaster sounds insane. It sounds so good. Rob Nation is our guy, and I don't know what he did differently this time. He's mastered all of our stuff, but something about this redo just gave it this hugeness to it. I don't know how to describe it. It just sounds so good. The mix has always been excellent, of course, and you know, just a big, huge, balls to the wall kind of song. Everything's on 10 or 11 even, and all the amps, you know, just cranked all the way up, and that's what you hear in the track. It's just a massive sound. Yeah, for this riff, the guitar riff, it's largely inspired by grunge. It's a very grungy song. I love Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and stuff like that, and the heavier sort of grunge bands like those. And it's very Soundgarden for me. It's very in that world, you know what I mean, where it's evil and it's got like that chromatic thing going on. Evil is a great word for it. It just has that vibe, and playing it live is great too. I love doing this one too, especially when it just kind of all sucks into itself, or that verse comes down really quiet, and then it's just a little like almost a whisper, you know what I mean, with the riff and the vocals and everything too. It's so much fun to play this one live, actually. Yeah, so definitely check out Sludge. It's available now on all streaming platforms, Apple and Spotify, all that good stuff. So make sure you stream that and save it, and also the whole EP too while you're at it.